Okay, good morning, everyone. This is Phyllis Nash. I'm one of your four co-founders. Really excited to be here with you this morning, welcoming you all on and seeing some faces or names that I haven't seen. Troy, welcome to the call. We've missed you. Um, and I'm going to go on and get out of the way so we can get started with our call. And we have our phenomenal VP of training, our world renowned motivational speaker who gives and pours into us here at Diamond Factory each and every Wednesday morning when travel. I don't know what happened. It just cut me off. So guess what? Before that happens again, I'm going to go on and bring up our own Coach Dan. Coach Dan, you can take it away. Don't know what happened there.
Good morning. Good morning. I don't know what happened either. I said, "What is this?" I started singing songs like, "Whatever it is."
So sorry.
Good morning. Good morning, family. I trust and pray that all is well with everybody today. Listen, this has been an interesting season. I don't know if I'm by myself, but this is a season for the ages. And I'm going to tell you, this season, at least for Coach Dan, may not be the best season, but nevertheless, it is a season. And one thing that I've learned about seasons, somebody should take notes right here because I'm about to start, is that seasons change. And every season don't last forever. And so how do you outlive a season? The key is you live through it. And as you live through it, you grow through it. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me say that again. As you live through it, you grow through it because every season has its own process. And whenever you're in a season or in anything that has a process, there's something to be learned. And really, the way you mismanage a season is don't learn the lessons that that you're going through in it. And so because at that point, that season is going to repeat itself. And when it repeats itself, it's going to have the same impact on you because seasons also come in cycles. So when you begin to look at the season that we're in, we're transitioning, we're coming into a summer season. But as we're going through the summer season, we have the cycle of spring. What does that look like? We're in a season where it's raining and storms are coming and trees are being uplifted and the weather is unpredictable and all of those things. Yesterday you have on a t-shirt and shorts. Today you got on a hoodie and a scarf. It just the seasons has its own processes and its own dynamics. And so I need you to be able to understand that whatever season you're in right now, it's only temporary because no season lasts forever. With that being said, then, Coach Dan, how do you navigate this season? Well, if y'all will allow me to give you an intro of something that I'm downloading for when I go to Miami this Saturday, I'm speaking with for the Miami University alongside of this non-for-profit, and we're dealing with some relationship dynamics, relationship trauma, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm dealing with the mindset. And one of the things that I gathered when they asked me yesterday what my topic was going to be, I thought about it for a few seconds, and then immediately the thought came, winning the mind game. Every aspect of your life is going to take a certain mentality in order to win it. Every aspect. And so one of the things that I understand that the idea of winning suggests that you are conquering something that is trying to conquer you. The idea of winning suggests that you are trying to conquer something that is that you are conquering, not trying, you are conquering something that is trying to conquer you. And so in order for you to win the mind game, then you have to conquer what is seeking to conquer you in the mind game. Yesterday, I was doing my Hey Dad with my princess. She asked the question. She said, Dad, one of the things I hate the most is being left alone with my thoughts. And I said, explain that. She said, a lot of times my thoughts may be negative, even though the desires of my heart is good and positive. And so I don't like being left alone with my thoughts because it creates a negative mindset. And so she said, so what do you do to get your mind and your heart in alignment so that you can be free from the negative thoughts and be able to pursue your positive heart, your heart's desire? And one of the things I told her was that you can't continue to leave your thoughts alone. Well, so what do you mean by that, Coach? Well, so here's what happens. What happens is that what inform our thoughts first and foremost is our hearts. There's a wise book. It's about 66. It's a compilation book, and it's about 66 individual books in it. And one of the things it says in this book is that as a man thinketh in his heart is what he becomes, which means our heart, the issues of our heart, carries its own thoughts hidden in its emotions. And those emotions creates a certain thought pattern. And then you begin to think certain things based on what your heart is speaking. Even though your desire in your heart is good, unfortunately, sometimes the emotions of your heart speaks out of the brokenness thereof. And so you got to get to a place. So how do you bring your heart and your thoughts into alignment so that you can win the mind game? The way that you have to do that is you cannot leave your thoughts alone with the issues of your heart, which means that there has to be something in place to counteract the negative thoughts. There must be something that's competing against the negative thoughts. Why? Because your mind carries about 80,000 or so different thoughts per day. 80,000 different thoughts per day. And so how do you begin to control your thought life? Number one, you cannot continue to rehearse the pain of where you are. Y'all drop that down. Do not rehearse the pain of where you are. Why is that? Because as long as you continue to think about your pain that's in your heart, it's going to create negative thoughts. Those negative thoughts are going to create negative words. Those negative words is going to create negative actions. Those negative actions is going to create negative outcomes. Those negative outcomes is going to be detriment to the purpose of your life. So it's imperative that you bring those thoughts under subjection of something that counters. Now, what is that? What is that, Coach Dan? Help me to understand what it is, because my thoughts are being left alone with rejection. My thoughts are being left alone with defeat. My thoughts are being left alone with failure. My thoughts are being left alone with unbelief. My thoughts are being left alone with unforgiveness. And because my thoughts are being left alone with these things, I am becoming one with these things because these things is running rapid in my mind. So now, how do you conquer that? The thoughts that are seeking to conquer you, which becomes an impingement upon what it is that you desire to do. Everybody on this line desires to be successful. Well, one of the things you got to do is you got to consider your self-talk. Oh, coach, what do you mean consider my self-talk? Because a lot of times when we start talking to ourselves, we start talking to ourselves about our pain. We don't talk to ourselves about our purpose. We don't talk to ourselves about the promise. We don't talk to ourselves about the outcome. We talk to ourselves about the process. And we spend more time talking about what is not than we do talking about what could be. Are y'all understanding me? And so guess what? Your actions follows your thoughts. Your actions follow your thoughts. How do I know? How do I know? There's another book within this book, this compilation book, that says that the thoughts that God has of us are good and not of evil, and it brings us to an expected end. So God's thoughts is bringing us somewhere, and most times our thoughts is taking us away from it. So if we're going to counter the negative thoughts, then we got to bring another thought process in. So every moment that you look at yourself as a failure, you got to look at yourself and say, no, I'm a life learner, and part of learning in life is to grow through failure. Are y'all seeing this? So when you look at yourself as rejected, you got to say, hey, they're doing me a favor, and part of me being in the right crowd is being rejected by the crowd, by being rejected by another crowd. If you don't reach the goal, it's not that you didn't reach the goal because you don't have the capacity. Maybe you didn't reach the goal because you got to learn more and develop your competency. And so it just depends on what side of the mind and that you're going to look at. That's going to determine what you're going to say, and that's going to determine what you're going to do. That's going to ultimately determine what you're going to be. And if you're going to win the mind game, then you got to understand the rules that are associated with the mind. And so as I get ready to bring this to a close, I'm gonna give you some rules. And I want y'all to know Coach Dan is downloading this as I'm talking to you. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to this myself. I'm gonna give you some rules to winning the mind game. Rule number 1: be careful of what you meditate on. A lot of times we meditate on pain, we meditate on failure, we meditate on all of the negative things. So number 1, you got to be careful of what you meditate on. Number 2, you got to be careful of who you're listening to. If you're going to win the mind game, you got to make certain that that's what's going in your ear is synopsis to what your vision is. Because sometimes negative thoughts comes in forms of seeds that were sown by somebody else. So number 1, be careful of what you meditate on. Number 2, be careful of what you listen to. Number 3, be careful of what you watch. A lot of times, I'm a daddy of 5, and many times when they were kids, they had bad dreams, and a lot of times when they had the bad dreams, it was directly connected to what they saw or what they was thinking before they went to sleep. And so you wind up having your children to be careful of what they watch at night so it don't torment them throughout the night. Some of us, we've allowed our eye gates to see some things and view some things and we became one with it. And as a result, we couldn't get it out of our mind. Our mind had been hijacked by what we saw or what we allowed ourselves to experience. So number 1, we got to watch what we meditate on. Number 2, we got to watch what we're listening to, or who we're listening to. Number 3, we got to watch what we're allowing our eyes to see. And number 4, watch this, we got to watch our self-talk. Lastly, number 5, we have to confess what we desire and where we desire to be instead of confessing what we're going through and where we haven't arrived yet. And when you confess that means what I want you to do, everybody on the line, this is your call to action today. I want you to write down all of the negative thoughts that comes to hijack your mind. And then I want you to write down a positive word or a positive confession to counter those thoughts. So if you look and then I want you to look in the mirror every day, and I want you to read and confess what you wrote about yourself and what you wrote about your purpose and what you wrote about your destiny. And I want you to read it and confess it every day till you become one with it, till it begins to ooze out of your spirit. When people ask me how I'm doing, I say I'm empowered. And the reason why is I'm not saying it because every day and every season is a great season. I'm saying it because I'm reminding myself that no matter what the day looks like or what the season looks like, I'm empowered to conquer it. I'm empowered to overcome it. I'm empowered to win it. I'm empowered to succeed while in it. I am empowered to live through it. I'm empowered to grow through it. I'm empowered to show through it. I'm empowered to, are y'all understanding what I'm saying? And so that now I stand on what I'm empowered to do, regardless of what's not getting done in my moment. So as you close this month out, close out winning the mind game. And regardless of how you ended up this month, make a conscious decision, conscious, intentional decision that next month is going to be better. And you're going to pursue better. You're going to speak better. You're going to think better. And that means you're going to possess better. You're going to do better. And you're going to be better. I hope this was helpful to my family on this morning. Listen, again, check me and my princess out. We're on TikTok, y'all. Hey Dad Live is happening today at 11 o'clock Central Standard Time. I'm going to turn it back over to the midwife, the one that's giving birth to a whole bunch of people's giving birth to a whole bunch of people's purpose and destiny. God bless you, girl. Prosper.
Thank you. All I can say is amen, amen. I hope you got your call to action and go out and implement it. You dropped the mic on that one. I'm getting ready to say Pastor Dan, because you ministered, you coached, you did it all in these 15 minutes. So with that being said, guys, go out and push. See you back here tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Bye now.
Prosper.